The following video was sponsored by the Greek American Heritage Society of Philadelphia, preserving and promoting our community's history.
I'm Phil Voutsakis. I am a Greek folk dance instructor at the St. George Zephyros dance group. I also am a member of the Spirit of Macedonia dance group.
Tell us a little bit about your background, your personal background, who you are, what you do.
I grew up in media, love the community here. I'm in real estate development and brokerage.
Well, tell us a little bit about your family background, being Greek American. And the segue question would actually be, how do you feel, more Greek or American?
So that's a tough question. Well, my family background, my mother's family is from Skiathos, and my father's family is from Asia Minor. Both my grandfather from my mother's side and my grandmother from my father's side really kind of influenced my appreciation of Greek folk dance and music. My Papu Nico always used to sing songs growing up, and kantades and stuff that he would learn being on ships and boats. And growing up, my iya Eleni, my father's mother, would always teach us dancing in the kitchen and stuff like that. So kind of grew up around Greek folk dance and kind of had an appreciation of the culture growing up.
So Greek, American Greek.
So that's a tough question. I think that we are our own community, Greek Americans in and of ourselves. In fact, I would make the argument that Delaware County Greek Americans, we're our own village. I think that that's a beautiful kind of combination of having both of these cultures that we can be 100% proud of, both being Greek and American, and we truly are this kind of unique blend of both.
Yeah. You grew up in which church community? Could you tell us about that?
Sure, yeah. So I grew up in the St. George media community, was very influential in my life. From Goya days, from Greek school days. So, growing up, we didn't have much of a dance group there. When Father Anastasios came, he pushed me to start a dance group. I was 16, didn't know what I was doing. Asked a woman who came to our community recently, Dina Christou. She taught us. Again, she was green, kind of figured it out as we went along. Barely had any costumes, and here we are today, 17 years later, and turns out that now here I am teaching the group. So it's been full circle and a pretty cool process in learning that.
You weren't always, besides Zephyros at the church, you were also involved in another bigger dance group, a regional dance group here, the Pan-Macedonians. Tell us about your connection to that organization and the organization.
For sure. So the Pan-Macedonian Association has been something that's been near and dear to me for many, many years. I joined probably when I was 16 or so. Chris Zekety was a teacher back then, and he's still the teacher today. Learned pretty much my true appreciation of Greek folk dance through Zekety, and my appreciation for an authentic, love of the traditional approach to dance. His passion for the art form is amazing. As you know, about half of our dance instructors in the region all learned under Zekety, and basically his disciples are teaching the Delaware Valley region today. So between him and Mrs. Kokoli in Cherry Hill, those were the two stalwarts of Greek folk dance in our area.
Your brother, I'm throwing you a curveball, you have a brother, and he was also part of that dance group, if I'm correct.
Yep, he's probably a better dancer than I am.
I was going to ask, who's a better dancer? And
you know how they say, like, whatever, you can either be a good coach or a good player. Right. I think I'm a better coach than I'm a player in that regard. Probably also for ball as well, as you could probably see from my PGBL statistics. But anyways, no, Chris is a better dancer.
Well, dance. How has this shaped your life or influenced your life, would you say?
So it's kept me involved in the community. It's created a fire to learn more. It's created a passion for the microcultures that exist in Greece. And I can't get enough of it.
How long would you say you've been teaching dance and been part of St. George? Because I think we missed that thought. It's been, I know you said about 17 years as a dance instructor. Is that correct? As a dancer.
I've been instructing for probably 6 or 7 years. Father Anastasios asked me to instruct for a period of 6 months, and here we are 7 years later. I'm still instructing. We had some great success during that period too.
Do you have a favorite dance? And if you do, what is it? Why?
That's hard. That's a hard one. It depends on my mood. Depends on I could probably name a favorite dance for each region. For today, for now, depending on how I'm feeling right now, I would say my favorite dance is Tsestos. Tsestos is a dance from Thraki, from northern Thrace, and for me it's interesting because it's a unique dance, unique movements. Lately it's been my flavor of the month.
You mentioned 2 dance instructors earlier. How did they influence or shape, or I guess mostly I want to know, how did they really give you that passion, that drive? Did they give you something that you really took away from them that you utilize today? Sure,
yeah. It's Voutsakis' passion for dance. Chris Voutsakis is really somebody who it shaped our community more than just the groups that he taught.
Let's go to your Greece trip. You took a trip just recently in the last couple of years, which I think was sort of an epiphany for you. It was something that enlightened you to dance from a different point of view because you did it in Greece. Tell us about the trip and what took place and how that's changed you.
Yeah, so one of the wonderful things that we see more so out of our area in the States is a lot of dance workshops where they'll bring instructors who are experts in the particular field. One of the instructors I met was a woman by the name of Yvonne Hunt. She's not Greek, but she's more Greek than any of us. She's spent decades in Greece researching, writing books, specifically on the dances and culture and customs of the people living in the Ceres region. I had the opportunity to go with her to Greece a number of years ago for Apokrias, and it was a really inspiring experience to see the traditions. We went from Ceres, saw the Babouyeri there, to Nausa, and saw the Boules and Yaniteri there, to Rumluiki, and we saw these traditions and the live musicians and the real lived experience of these dances, not something that we just see on stage and we look at and we say, wow, that's a great performance. No, these are real things that people are living. And
how's that different from how we preserve them here?
It's different because we traditionally see it just as footsteps. We need to break out of that. We need to understand that these are part of the experience, part of the way of life for the people in these villages. I think we're working on it. I think we're getting there. Mm-hmm. But there's also a long ways to go.
So I guess that question would segue over to, how do we keep Greek dance and our traditions alive? Because I know, and as we mentioned before, we had a previous conversation, you don't just do it in the church. It comes home with you. But could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
I think, there's, on one hand, the Philadelphia Greek community does a phenomenal job of traditionally having these dances, and you go to these areas and there's true organic appreciation of Greek folk dance, and people are dancing all night, and you're at St. Demetrius and the hall is packed and everybody's having a great time. That's how dance is supposed to be. I think that there's this kind of bridge between the traditional folk aspect and that we need to focus on. I think that one of the keys is pushing for more live music. Mm-hmm. There's no way to divorce dance from music. And I think that that's something that we should push. Another thing that I'm trying to do is in our exhibitions of folk dance through the dance group, what we're trying to do is depict these cultural times of the year where, like the camera between Christmas and Epiphany and the Apokrias, and there's traditions that come during the Saturday of Lazarus. What we're trying to do with the group is dance these dances, sing these carols, depict, retain these traditions, and show that it's not just performances. They are things that people would do that tie them directly to the calendar year.
I see. Let's talk about cultural influences. Has Greek dance evolved and influenced other cultures or other surrounding countries in the area?
For sure. I mean, and Greek dance has evolved and influenced other countries, and other countries have evolved and influenced Greece. And I think that's the wonderful thing about the regionalism of Greek dance. I mean, you go from one area to the other, and the instruments change, the steps change, the feeling changes. Even in certain areas, go take the Scetis region for example. You could have a gaida in one village be styled one way with steps one way, and 5 miles away in a different village, the dances are completely, that same dance gaida is danced completely differently. So I think that that's kind of part of the unique nature. I mean, there's no standardization. It's organic. Greek folk dance is an organic, living, kind of changing organism. But I think we could see a lot of history and sociology by studying dance.
When Greeks dance, they appear to go through some kind of euphoric metamorphosis. It takes place. We're watching this, and they're very involved with their motions, and sometimes they even cry. I've seen people cry when they're dancing. They get very huggy. What's going on with dance for us? Because it is a very emotional state, and I'm wondering, what are you feeling when you dance?
I think that what you're describing is part of the beauty of the art form. The interplay between the musician and the dancer, I think, pulls something out of us, a level of beauty that kind of is really attractive to watch and to see. When you're dancing and you hear the drum hitting, and you hear the zurna player, the clarino player playing to you, and you're dancing to him and his music, that is, like, as you said, a euphoria. I mean, that's
And for you?
For me, that's heaven. That's what more could you ask for?
Right. A final question. Greek dance, the future. Where are we going, and where would you like to see it go?
I think that we've been seeing a lot of progress. I think we continue to evolve towards more of a traditional village, regional level of Greek folk dance. We still have work to do. We still have to continue to get towards more of a level of traditionality. I would say that we also need to see Greek folk dance continue to be something that holds the whole community together. If we look at dance groups in Greece, we see Yayades, the mother, and then the granddaughter all in one line. That's how it should be here for us. Dance is a communal event. It's a communal experience, and everybody should be dancing. It shouldn't just be younger kids. So that's one thing, a goal of mine. Would like to push for a retention of that in our community.
Phil Voutsakis, dance instructor of Zephyros dance group over at St. George in Media, and a member of the Pan-Macedonian Society. Thank you so much. We wish you the best with future endeavors in dance and helping keep dance alive in our community.
Thank you. And thank you for always supporting us and being there, filming us. I mean, if it wasn't for Cosmos Philly and the Greek American Heritage Society, there's a lot of people that wouldn't see all of our good work. So thank you.
For more information about sponsoring or viewing the interview series, visit the Greek American Heritage Society of Philadelphia online at gahsp.org.